Hello, beautiful women, legacy, divine, luxury, love, goddesses. So I feel inspired to share with you about going all in to manifest your legacy, divine, masculine husband, so you can create your legacy, divine, luxury, love, marriage. Let me see if I have sound. Forgot to check my sound. If you don't know me, my name is Marie Sherilyn. I am a love dating, courtship, and relationship coach. It is my passion to help women leaders manifest. Okay, I'm good. It is my passion to help women leaders manifest. Women leaders, educated women, accomplished women, successful women, Christian, spiritual. I would say Christian spiritual women manifest their legacy divine husband to create their legacy divine marriage. This is my passion. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I think it was yesterday I wrote a post on going all in. So may I share my story with you? If you don't know me, say hello, type in hello. If you've seen me before and you love and like what I've been sharing with you, may I ask that you type me a heart emoji. Going all in to manifest your legacy divine masculine husband. If you feel like this is a topic other people need to hear about, share, 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 sharing is caring. So going all in. So let me share my story with you. So I was born out of wedlock. My father and my mother was only together just long enough to have me and my sister. Okay, I think I'm a year and 2 months older than my sister. Okay, so my mother and my father hate each other. I feel like if my father was set on fire and my mother needed to throw water on my father so he could stay alive, I don't think my mother would do it. And my father too. If my mother was set on fire and he needed to throw water on my mother so she wouldn't burn to death, he wouldn't do it either. This is how much my parents completely hate each other. But guess what? My father and my mother absolutely love me and adore me, which I do not understand. Me and my sister. My father would have given his life for me in a heartbeat. My mother would have given her life for me in a heartbeat. But they hate each other. So just giving you background to see what so you can see where I'm coming from. So I come from a lot of trauma, toxic love pattern trauma. Okay. So by the time I was 8 years old, I made up my mind. When I started real unders, I think 8 or 9 years old, I made up my mind that I saw how my father treated my mother. My mother truly loved my father. She loved him with all her heart. I saw how my father treated my mother, and I said to myself when I was 8 or 9 years old, when I was able to understand what was going on, how much they hated each other, I said to myself that I will never give my heart to any man. So at 8 years old, 8 or 9 years old, I made a covenant. The life and death is in the power of your tongue. So even though I was 8 years old and 8 or 9 years, I can't remember exactly, but I was old enough to remember and understand what was going on. So I said, I will never trust any man. So guess what? This is what I did for 20 years, 21 years of my life. So when I was in relationship with men, although you will never be able to tell the way I treat them, because I'm very sweet, I'm very supportive, I'm very loving, I'm always there for them. If the man is a good man, I'm always there for him. Um, you would never know. So from 18 years old all the way to 39 years old, I was in a relationship 1 feet in, 1 feet out. And I did it a lot. Um, I had multiple boyfriends. So even when the guy told me he was in love with me, I was 1 feet in, 4 feet in, 1 feet out. So my entire, because I came from childhood trauma and other things I've seen, of course, as I'm growing up, I've seen how relationships turn out. A lot of you ladies, the reason why you are not married because you saw how other marriages were, or you had a story like mine, and you made a covenant that you are not gonna allow yourself to go through that kind of suffering, which is what I did when it comes to my parents. So I was 1 feet in, 1 feet out. All my relationship, even though the guy I said I love, I mean, I've said I love men, before my husband. But even though I loved him, I was 1 feet in, 1 feet out all the time. 1 feet in, 1 feet out. 1 feet in, 1 feet out. So, like, you know how I'm sure you had girlfriends who have been through horrible heartbreaks and they couldn't get out of bed and all that stuff. That never happened to me because I was never 2 feet in. So if it doesn't, if something didn't work out between me and the guy, the maximum it would take for me to get over the guy is probably 7 days. I would, because I was never fully in, because I saw what my mother went through. I was never fully in. So my love experience came from a sense of trauma, from a trauma basically, trauma and the covenant I made when I was like 8 or 9 years old. So I realized that when I was 38, I think 38, October 38, yeah, I was 38 years old. I realized that I have never allowed myself to be all in any relationship. All this dating I did, all this guy I did, any relation, I dated some amazing guy. I do not have the story of narcissists, abusers. To me, most men are good men, even though I say things just to give self awareness. But most men are good men in my world. So I've never been abused. I've never been, of course, I've had men take advantage of me in different way financially, but I've never suffered anything that I've seen people suffer narcissism from a narcissist and or being abused, physically abused, verbally abused. I haven't suffered any of these things. Um, so most of the guys I dated were actually good men. And I realized when I was 38 and I was like, what's the reason I'm not married? I woke up a Sunday. What's the reason I'm not married? And I realized God showed me that I have been 1 feet in, 1 feet out in all my relationships. And of course, the woman, we don't lead relationships, but our energy, the way we show up, even if we don't say the word, even though I'm very lovey-dovey, I'm very supportive, I go to seminars and business event with my ex-boyfriends and I travel with them and it appears I'm all in, but in my heart, I was never all in. So my God showed me that's one of the reasons. Okay, so and he also showed me that I made a covenant when I was a child that I will never be all in with any man. So God created marriage. Marriage is the author of marriage. If you want to get married, you need to know the author. Okay, the author of marriage is God. Okay, so God created marriage. If you want to increase your chance or make sure your marriage is divorce proof, you must go back to the author and ask why is it I'm not married? Why is it my husband is calling me. Why is it I'm not married? Why is it I can't seem to get this dating thing together so I can manifest my husband? So God showed me the covenant, and I started doing I talk a lot about inner work, right? Inner work. If you follow my content, I talk a lot about inner work. Well, inner work. I did a lot of inner work to break this covenant. This covenant over my life. Not only I had covenant over my life that I put over my life when I was 8 or 9 years old, a lot of you have put covenant over your life that is producing toxic love relationships you're not aware of. And many of you come from a line of family bloodline where all you have seen is toxic love relationship. For me, my mother come up from a toxic love relationship bloodline. Everybody, the marriage rate where I'm from, the town that I'm from is probably around 10%. Like only like the few people were ever married. The only person I remember that was married in my family is my aunt, and I was too young to really understand the dynamic of her marriage because she left, I think, when I was like 7 or 8 years old. She came to America. I'm originally from Haiti. So a lot of you have toxic pattern over your head. You don't even know it. And of course, many of you have had put covenants over your head. You're not even aware. So I was in new thought, new age, energetics, energy mastery. So I was already aware of these things. Okay, so that's why I asked God, what is going on in my life? And he showed me the covenant, and I did the inner work. I went back to God. Okay. So when you going all in, going back to the author of marriage. The author of marriage is God. Okay. God gave us marriage as a gift. Okay. So if you want to see what's going on with you, you go to the author. And I went to the author of marriage, and God showed me why I wasn't married, and why, even though I had everything that a woman would need to be attractive and desirable to men. Men did not propose to me because I had this covenant, I had this generational toxic bloodline over my head. And I went to God and I asked him, how do I heal it? Which is what I have in my program. Now, I wasn't saying specifically this is for you to heal generational toxic covenant bloodline hexes and curses over your life, because I feel like some people might not take it the right way. But now I am coming out fully, letting people know this is what these exercises are for. These exercises are here to heal you of any covenant you made when you were unconscious, when you were a kid, and also any toxic bloodline that you may be carrying over your head and you don't even know it. So going all in means going back to God, number one. Number two, he didn't know who I was. Even though I have experienced a lot of life, I didn't know who I was. Going all in means knowing who you are. God, and then knowing who you are. Who are you? One of my favorite philosophers, he says, know thyself. And that's true. There is absolutely no way you can attract and choose a great husband, a legacy divine masculine husband, a man who shield you, cover you, adore you, admire you, can lead you, guide you, protect you, fully financially provide for you, if you don't know who you are. So before you can ask somebody else to fall in love with you, you must fall in love with yourself, which is what a lot of my what's in my program is about. My course is about self-worth and self-love. Yes, self-worth, self-love, self-care is very much needed. Okay, so you go back to God, you come back to yourself, and then you can be in a position to say, what kind of man do I really want? But after you know yourself, because if you don't know yourself, you cannot, it is impossible. Whatever you think you want in a man is really superficial, because you don't know yourself. This is the exercise I did within the if you don't know my story, I broke up with my ex. He 18 months in a relationship. I asked him, I'm ready for marriage, and he wasn't all in. Of course, he wasn't all in because I wasn't all in either. But I wanted him to be all in, even though I wasn't all in. And energy, the men we have in our life mirrors our consciousness, mirrors how we feel mirror us internally, intrinsically. So he wasn't all in, he was resistant. So after I did the inner work and I had to forgive myself and I found out who I really am, and I got crystal clear on the kind of husband that I wanted to wanted as my husband, the type of husband that I could be with for the rest of my life. We were together, so I asked him, how do you feel about marriage? What do you need to know about me so we can get married? And he was very resistant. Well, guess what? Me and him, we have the same trauma from childhood. He grew up in a single mother, single mother. His father was never there. I don't even think he knows his father. He's never talked about his father. I don't think he knows. Actually, he doesn't know his father. I grew up with my grandmother and my aunt and my cousins. Okay. So I grew up without my father. So he grew up without his father. I grew up with I am my father. His mother had him, they were dating. His mother and his father dated, and then somehow, that's how his mother had him. My mother, my father dated. That's how it was. Never like they didn't have a true relationship. So the same trauma that I come from, I incarnate into, is the same trauma he incarnate into. Guess what? Like attract like. Love attraction is real. I believe, I'm a spiritual Christian. I believe in the 12 universal laws of the universe. I believe in energy mastery. And I also believe the gospel of Jesus Christ is the truth. Is the truth. So of course, because I know energy mastery, I know the law of attraction, I know law of polarity and all law of assumption, all these law of correspondence. Of course, I attracted somebody who had the same trauma as me. Well, he didn't want to get married. He was get we he wasn't he never said no, but he never gave me a clear answer. So I let him go. God told me God told me, or Holy Spirit, at that time I called it intuition, which is still intuition. Holy Spirit's intuition as well. Told me he doesn't want, you cannot force someone to be with you. If he wanted to be with me, he just didn't want to get married. And he's very accomplished. He makes over $300,000 a year. He has a lot of real estate. He trades stocks. He does a lot. He do like financially. He looks amazing. Very handsome man, very handsome and everything. The reason I was with him for 18 months because he's everything I wanted. I actually picked him. When I picked him, before I came to myself that I was called to be married. If you haven't heard that live that I did last week, are you called to be married? Go watch it. You all have no doubts after this. After that live I did last week, it's on my page and my personal profile and my group. You're called to be married. So once God revealed to me I was called to be married, and I went back to God and did the inner work, healed my generational curses and hexes, and I got to know who I am, and I got clear on the kind of man I wanted to marry, even though he wasn't spirit. I would say me and him, we were not exactly spiritually yoked, and but we were yoked on a soul level. He's an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur. He trades stock, I trade stocks. He's about real estate, I know about real estate. I'm in personal development, he is too. He loves to travel. There's a lot of things on a soul level that's why we did so well. We were together for 18 months. So I let him go because as I was doing my work, inner work, my self esteem grew, my self worth grew, my self love grew. And a woman who is in her divine legacy, divine femininity, do not wait on men to get ready. When we show up in your life, you need to be ready. If you're not ready, we just open ourselves up to the next man because we understand what one man don't want to do, another man will in a heartbeat. Okay, so God told me that. Don't wait for him. He doesn't want to. Yeah, I could have worked it out with him. He's not a bad guy. He's not a bad husband. He would not have been a bad husband. He was faithful. He was accomplished. Makes over 300K a year. He lived in a freaking 5-bedroom house by himself. So he's very accomplished financially and very handsome as well, but he didn't want marriage, and I wanted marriage, and I wanted children, and I wanted marriage, and I wanted to get married like I'm preaching. I want to get married in 12 months or less, and he wasn't down. He wasn't down with that, and I was like, okay. So I let him go, and I went and put myself out there, positioned myself after I did the inner work, and I manifested my husband. So going all in means going back to the creator, going back to the original author of marriage, which is God, getting back to yourself, getting to know yourself, and taking amazing care of yourself, and then getting crystal clear on the kind of man you desire, you want, okay? And you need to become unapologetic about the fact that you want marriage. I went all in, like for 20 years from the age of 18 to 38. I was kind of shy about it because I wasn't sure if I was called to be married, as I said in my last video. Are you called to be married? Watch that. I become unapologetic about it, and I told my ex this is where I stand right now, and he was not on board, and I let him go so the right woman for him can find him. He's still not married today. Last time he texted me, asked me how I'm doing. I said, "Are you married?" No, and I wish him well. I pray for him that he find his dream woman. And he swore to God I was his dream woman, but I don't believe it. If I'm your dream woman, you've been with me for 18 months, you haven't proposed, I am not your dream woman. I am not delusional, thinking I'm all that it will take you 18 months to make up your mind, even and if you make up your mind when I've studied, I already studied, like as I was doing my inner work and healing my, I was studying biology, biochemistry. I was studying the data. I was studying everything about marriage and love. So I already had so much confirmation that he likes me a lot, but he's not really into me. That's why. And he has a lot of trauma he had to heal as well. So going all in and being unapologetic about your conviction of wanting marriage and wanting lifetime marriage, and choosing to only entertain men who are on the same, have the same mindset as you. Okay. So that's what going all in. So you must go all in, my friends. That's the reason why I created my course. I created my course. I am re-recording the videos as we speak, which is why the course is very affordable at this time. But once I'm done with recording the videos, I wasn't putting my faith first in the program. I mean, I sprinkle my faith a little bit, but I wasn't putting like on my unapologetic faith in my program. The fact that I'm a spiritual Christian, and I wasn't talking enough about that. But a lot of the reason why I manifested my husband so quickly is because of my faith, and my faith is like the backbone, the foundation uh, of why I manifested my husband so quickly, because I knew I was born to be married. I'm called to be married. And because God gave marriage as a gift to all who are called to be married, I know my husband was looking for me. So get in the course, my love. Is very affordable right now. Get in it, get in it, get in it. Send me a DM to get in it. This is the best. This is the best gift you will ever give yourself. So I believe, beside your relationship with God and your relationship with yourself, and if you have children, you gotta take care of your children. Okay, being married is your number one purpose. So if you, a lot of people are out there you don't have the blueprint. I didn't have the blueprint for 20 years. Okay, 20 years. So as I'm with my life experience, I discovered the blueprint, and I'm a student of transformation. I studied the blueprint and I execute the blueprint, and that's the reason why I got married 6 weeks. 6 weeks from the day 6 weeks from the day I made up my mind I was gonna manifest my husband. I met him, and we've been married for 9 years plus, and we are happily married. There's no such thing as a perfect marriage, but we are happily married. He is my legacy divine masculine husband, and I want the same for you. So, of course, because I've been married for 9 years, so there's a lot of codes. The Holy Spirit is blessing me with a lot of codes that I didn't really see when I was manifesting my husband, but I see the codes now clearly, and I'm infusing these codes in the videos that I am re-recording to give you no excuse for not manifesting your husband. No excuse. And you can do it in 12 months or less. So get in the course, very affordable at this time. It's gonna stay affordable, but it's not gonna be at this price for too long. Get in it, get in it. This is January. We are 2 weeks in 2025. Okay, make 25 the year that you go all in to manifest your legacy divine masculine husband, to create your legacy divine luxury love marriage. It is worth it. It is worth it. It is worth it. It is worth it, my love. Send me a DM if you have a question, or just sign in on my page. Sign in on my page. Sign in on my, it's in my page on my bio. I believe I put the link right there as well. So yes, my love. Um, get in the course. I will see you soon. I just dropped the link for you. I will see you soon.